Welcome to the JDC West 2019 not-for-profit case presentation sponsored by the Connect Autism Network. Competitors will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will have a total of 5 minutes to ask the presenters any questions. The volunteer timekeeper will show time cards at various intervals to indicate the remaining time and will stop any speaker who exceeds the maximum time limit. No questions, comments, cell phones, or picture taking except the individual who has a media pass will be permitted from the audience at any time. The audience will only be permitted to applaud following the question and answer period. The audience is banned from any material that bears name or symbol of a competing university. We ask that the audience and the delegates exit the room immediately following the question and answer period. Competitors, the timekeeper will let you know when you can begin the presentation. Whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us today, executives from CAN and everyone else. So, autism is a disorder that affects tens of thousands of BC citizens, ranging from ages of youth all the way to adulthood, as you are very aware. This is something that is extremely important to recognize because they're vastly in the minority in terms of recognition for health services, information that's readily available to their family, and other sorts of things. The other thing is the implication it has on their families. These youth that are dealing with autism in their daily lives, their families also deal with a lot of the burden in terms of needing the resources to care for them, to make sure that they're getting the adequate healthcare services, adequate exercise, and things like that. And so just making sure that that's a key component is where your organization comes into play. You, as an organization, provide and facilitate the necessary requirements for this activity and just general information to the family to make sure that everyone feels supported and grounded as a family, making sure that the community is stable as a whole and making that you feel stable as well. So then, there are a few things I'd like to touch on. Your organization is facing some troubles in terms of growth and sustainability, and that's where we would like to come into play. My name is Gabrielle, and my colleagues Paris and AJ from Gap Consulting would like to help. I'm going to get right to it because we have a lot to cover today. So I'm going to give you a quick overview just to make sure that everyone's up to speed with things. So your current operations are this. These are the past 2 years. Your revenues are fairly stable. Your expenses are slightly increasing, as a growing organization should be. And your excess is not a key factor that we're looking at here. However, we'd like to see that going to positives. We also look at your ROI, which is just going to be your ratio of what you're spending in terms of what you're getting. And that's on a little bit of a decline, but these are still very strong numbers. And so your organization is not in a pitfall at all. And so these are just things that we'd like to see you guys steadily increase as an organization. You have some goals that you'd like to hit, and we'd like to help you hit them.
Moving forward, we would like to show you a few of the concerns that we have found within your organization. The first is the staff and volunteer requirement. As of right now, we want to make sure the children and the families are comfortable and supported in our understanding as to the staff and volunteers we provide for them. So that's the main concern, making sure the staff and volunteers are fully trained. The next is sustainable funding. As of right now, there is a lack of funding, and moving forward, we would want to follow this concern and make sure that we can fix these concerns and help you guys facilitate space and also follow these requirements. So we wanted to make sure we did a full analysis of your organization before we move forward. A few weaknesses that we found was the lack of revenue and the capacity within your organization to hold these children. The capacity meaning right now there's a wait list, and we want to make sure all the children are there and also help because we want to build an understanding and supporting environment for them. A few of the threats we found were that the competition. A lot of organizations are out there too, and they're also supporting the same disorder that you guys are also supporting. And from there, we want to make sure you have long-term sustainability with your financials and also the lack of awareness. We want to make sure they cover awareness within the community to make sure that these children are aware and provided with help that are needed to make sure that their motor skills and their future is helped them. Even though there are these few weaknesses, there are many opportunities for your organization. One of the opportunities is the growth. Your organization is well needed within the community, and growth will help with that. And right now, a lot of children out there are wanting to join your organization, and due to that, there is a wait list. Another opportunity is collaboration. Right now, you guys have collaborated with another local organization, and with that, we want to make sure that moving forward, instead of competing with the other organizations, that you collaborate, because all together, you all are focusing on one goal, and it's helping the children and supporting them and making them find a space where they can have an understanding and supporting environment. Another opportunity is the lack of external pressure. With the lack of external pressure, right now we need to focus on the organization and developing it, and by taking a break and focusing on the restructuring can help with that, because the pressures externally is just the development of the children that want to come in. They can wait a few months for your organization to come together and regroup. Moving forward, your strengths. There are threats, but there are so many strengths that your organization has, and which is amazing. The first is the strategic plan. You guys have a 5-step strategic plan, and your organization really shows great compassion with the plan and shows great lights on how you're going to reach those goals. And the next strength is your community. You have developed a great community basis within the community, and it helps you grow and shows your organization is really caring for those children and providing support. And as well, you have the demand there, you have the children that need your help, and you have the families that want to be a part of your organization. So the main consensus of our analysis of your organization, there's no immediate action necessary based on the current operations, but we do want to exemplify the fact that we want to grow the organization, but first starting within the organization before we step outside.
So moving on to one of the alternatives that we have come up with you today is a provincial expansion plan. We do realize that you are wanting to move a little bit into North Vancouver, and we really think that that would be beneficial for you. So this would just entail that new market, so the new North Vancouver, increased locations, as well as that in that new part of the province, and then new donor opportunities are obviously going to be in that North Vancouver aspect as well. Although this is an option for you, we don't necessarily think this is the best option. Because as Paris mentioned before, there is a little bit internal organization things that we think that we could focus on first before we expand our resources too thin. Again, going back to what we're really here for today, helping those children. We don't want to spread too thin and not be able to help as many people as we can.
So the second alternative we'd like to bring forward today is going to be a facility focus. This is in terms of your current utilization of facilities being donated to you, just at awkward times, which are making the programs you are offering at the moment slightly less feasible for your target audience. So large-scale funding would be the first initiative of this. You're going to go after larger donors who are going to give larger sums of money, corporations, things like that, particularly in the metropolitan areas of Vancouver and the greater Vancouver area. This is going to lead to the ability to lease spaces, which is a little bit more flexible for your organization. And then finally, building some hiring opportunities. Hiring in terms of utilizing these donations that you have now received to grow the organization for the other polls that have kind of come out of play here. So the reason why we will not be going with this alternative at the moment is going to be because of this funding opportunity. So although large-scale donors are great for if you have a project that you're looking after, this is something that we're looking for sustainability for organization. And large-scale donors, although they offer you maybe a great one-time thing, the chance that you'll get $1 million donation year after year is not going to be feasible, and that's not what we're looking for, and that's not what I believe you're looking for either. So for those reasons, that will not be the suggestion we're going with today.
Our third and final option, the option that we will be taking, is the co-op program initiative. So the first item is to adjust the growth plan. We understand that your organization has a 5-year strategic plan, but we want to adjust it to include the co-op program initiative, which is targeting universities and allowing university students to get more involved. The third is to increase the program and organization potential. So with having these additional university students within your organization, will also be increasing programs and the organization potential by allowing these students, these young minds, to help your organization grow. With that, I would like to expand more on our recommendation with 3 different sectors. The first is to adjust the growth plan. This will utilize your current resources. We understand right now you have a recruitment coordinator and also strategic alliance manager. We want to use these individuals and allow them to grow the organization, and with that from here we also want to have some fundraising initiatives within your growth plan. Because of due diligence, we want to make sure that we cover every single aspect by allowing us to move into a target university. Once we have targeted universities, we want the recruitment coordinating team. We want to develop one. This will allow the recruitment coordinator not to have too much on their plate and also develop a proper co-op program for students to be involved in. With that, we want to target business and health co-op students. With that, it underlies business students, kinesiology, and nursing. With these three programs, we'll be able to allow your organization to grow because most of these students will have, nursing students and kinesiology students will help with programs. Also with nursing students will have the support that the children will need, and the business students will also be able to help with corporate relation material. Moving forward, the community collaboration and exposure. This will allow your organization to be more exposed to universities, younger minds, and also awareness more on campuses about your organization. And the final is to increase the programs. We want more having physical activity programs, meaning that the co-op students can be more involved in, so meaning moving forward having more camping trips, for example. With that, we would need to increase the staff and also expand community reach.
So moving on to the first year here, we do want to reiterate, this isn't necessarily immediate action for you as you are in a good spot for your organization. This is more so in the first section of this first year, as you can see, meeting with the staff, so taking these initial steps, making sure that your staff knows everything that's going to be happening. Again, those little alters to the growth plan that you have created already. Meeting with the Canuck organization. So we have come up with a few options for you for additional funding. One of these being to maybe team up with the Canuck organization and have a $5 donation offered at some of their hockey games. We really want to utilize that partnership that you already have with the Canucks. We really think that's beneficial for you, as well as the strategic partnership role in your organization is going to be directly related to this. And the co-op team formation. So again, taking roles such as the HR role, marketing role as well to release co-op applications and stuff like that. So really utilize the people that you already have in your organization. So this isn't any additional hiring in this section. Canuck Fund guidelines, we do understand that they have given you guidelines for funding and sponsorships and stuff like that, so we do need to make sure that we are keeping those in mind and making sure that we're following those. So the May to August is reach out to select universities for this co-op program, as well as meeting potential donors. One idea that we did come up for you guys today is talking to the Canuck and seeing if that a sponsor of them would actually like to sponsor you as well. Maybe a sports company that they could offer help to you. I know that teams and physical activity is really important for the autistic sector. So by getting a sports sponsorship, that could be really beneficial for you to create that little bridge between you guys. Fundraising initiatives, again, like I said, that $5 extra donation at those Canucks games would be entailed into that. And also the press release. For non-for-profits, it's very crucial that a press release would be released to let your stakeholders know what is happening, as well as the children that you are working with, so everyone is in the loop and no one is blindsided by anything that happens in the future. The September to December is releasing the co-op applications, as well as the logistics of that Canuck game donations, and the New Year plan finalized. So again, adjusting that growth, that 5-year growth that you have come up with, making those alterations to make sure that you do have a plan going into that new January month, and the co-op plan finalized. So again, moving into that, once those co-op applications are released, you are making a plan for exactly what that co-op program will look like, so there are no surprises later down the road. One risk that we did identify is with this Canuck organization and the Canuck sponsorship. Again, those guidelines that the Canuck team has offered for you, we do realize that there are some restrictions on that, so we would just need to talk with them and make sure that we're following those guidelines, and also as well, if they do not accept those, exploring alternatives to other fundraising initiatives that we can come up with. So on to the year 2 is the January to April phase, is the co-op application is closed. So making sure that we are finding those students, so it'll be closed at the April period, so making sure that you're finding those students for that September period, going right into school for that first semester there. And then the Canuck game donation is going to be released in that January, so the new year season, as well as the program restructuring is continued, just making all these changes into it. This barbecue event planning, we do understand that an event is not going to solve your sustainable funds problem, as you have mentioned that to us. Although we are adding an event, this event is very minimal cost to you, and it is not going to have to make you increase your manpower to plan this. It is a very minimal planning for this event, and it has been proven for many non-for-profits to be very beneficial. So this barbecue event is actually going to be a semi-annual barbecue, and you are going to be bringing in that team ambassador that you do have from that Canuck team. It's going to be set in the community, so all your families that do have those people that use your programs and everything are more than welcome to come to this, and hopefully by bringing that team ambassador as well, bring in new members of the community. So the May to August is the co-op students are selected, as well as the higher business and kinesiology students. So again, making sure that you have those two sections, the business side of things, reaching out to corporate relations, maybe some marketing as well, and the kinesiology and the nursing to bring in the educational pieces for the family, as well as the camps. Program finalizations, as well as that barbecue planning. So the end year is the first co-op semester, as well as the training the students. We really want to make sure that these co-op students coming in know exactly what they're doing and know exactly what they will be offering to these autistic children, and having students run the programs, as I will just mention in the next slide here. Just a risk in this, as I said before, we do understand that you don't necessarily want more events, except the rationale behind this additional event is it's just an additional donation to you at minimal cost. So the co-op program initiatives, some of these things the co-op students will be running. So those camps that we have for you, those overnight camps that you already do offer, we will be having the co-op students run those, as well as family sessions. Nursing students are very well trained in how to deal with disabilities and disorders such as these things. So this will really prove beneficial to you to actually allow someone else from outside of your organization, from university, to come in and talk to families and make that connection with all these autistic children. Social settings, so again, we do realize that those social settings are really crucial for these autistic children, so really capitalizing on that, as well as public parks and rec. So that new facility, we do understand the facility is a little bit of a tension right now, as we don't have new options for facilities. By going to public parks and recreational spaces with these co-op students, you don't necessarily need to go find and rent new facility spaces. So the program goals for this is physical activity programs. So shifting a little bit to focus on the physical activity rather than the teens. Education for the families, as I said, with the nursing, as well as the human kinetics and kinesiology students. Funding support. By making these connections with these universities to have this co-op program, you're really opening that door for more donors to push in. If this co-op program does prove to be successful for you, this universities will be more than willing to make more events with you, as well as maybe give you monetary donations as well. Government grants are very crucial in this too. They will give you subsidiaries to for that co-op program, so about 75% approximately. Province-wide expansion. So we are aiming to do a UNBC co-op program. So this is also adding to your expansion into North Vancouver to also assist with you. So kind of pulling two things into one.
So because we understand that feasibility is a huge aspect for you, not only for the youth that you're dealing with, but also their families, there's a lot of people rely on your organization, or we believe that that's very critical, that you cater that service that you're looking to provide. We know that's important, and so it gives us quick cash flow analysis and making sure that we can prove to you that this is possible. So looking into this quickly, you have your kind of cash in section, which is going to include grants, fundraising, the Connects for Kids, and the fees and stuff that are coming in. So we've included the numbers already from your previous years to what we predict for these coming years. So for the grants, that's going to increase mainly because of the co-op grant grants that you will be eligible for with these co-op students coming in. The co-op grants are catered to pretty much cover salaries and a lot of the administration services, because the government understands that also helps with the development of the students and also bring students into the interest of your organization. Fundraising is going to increase due to hopefully the partnerships that we can establish through the Connects Coffee organization and their current sponsors. Connects for Kids, their sponsorship will stay relatively similar to what it has been, because we understand that they also support many other organizations that you guys also don't want to be taking the funding from, because every organization has a great cause. And then the fees and other things will stay fairly similar. Some increased fees due to the fact that you're going to have some increased program attendance, so that's going to be a huge excellent thing. And then for the cash out, you're going to have your co-op administration and salary costs. Those are going to be covered mostly by the co-op. Some programs, those are going to cost a little bit more, but like we said, with the revenue that's coming in, you're looking to increase the size of your organization, so that's to be expected. Development is going to increase, and administration is going to increase, but we predict that with this, you're going to have about a $500,000 reserve to start building that up. So with this feasibility, we hope that you take our recommendations into consideration. And thank you very much. We open the floor to questions.
Q&A caveat.
I'll start. So just one question in terms of your co-op model. So I'm wondering about the fact that you're going to have this based on students going through a program, eventually graduating out of the program. So how do you see being able to grow the program? You're basically relying on volunteers, not volunteers or students, who are going to be essentially graduating out of the program and just replacing the new students all the time.
So in terms of the growth and feasibility of the co-op program, we do understand that that's a bit of a cycle that's going to happen. Students are going to leave. We're hoping that this is going to also bring in some support from students and kind of attract people to the cause, attract to the education aspect, and increase the education of the entire society as a whole, which is one of your goals. But we believe that this is going to be no different, in fact, hopefully better than volunteers. Your volunteers are fairly cyclical as well in terms of coming in and out, and so your main core employee staff will remain the same and grow and learn from these students, as well as students will learn. But we're also hoping to create the connection between the students, them developing a personal attachment to their organization, and hopefully returning, if not spreading the word. So we understand that it's going to be the same, but we don't see it as any different, if not better than the volunteers that will already be with the organization.
So you made reference to the $5 donation in June. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the fundraising initiative that you referenced?
Yeah, so that $5 is going to obviously be an optional donation for the patrons to the hockey game. It was a little bit tough coming up with some fundraising initiatives, as we do know that there are those Connect guidelines, but we're not exactly sure what all of those guidelines entail, as well as the capacity in which you are able to offer other fundraising initiatives. So we just thought that we would capitalize on that Connect relationship that you already have established by utilizing that $5 donation. As I said before, if that happens to fall through with the Connect organization, there are other fundraising initiatives such as that barbecue, as well as some other events that we can look into with minimal cost. Just as of right now, those are the only two options that we did come up with, just as we are a little bit unsure of all those guidelines, as well as the fundraising budget that you did have for your organization.
Part of the strategic plan for the organization is to expand into remote, underserved areas. Can you maybe just expand a little bit about how the co-op proposal will allow us to then get into the areas and service those populations?
Well, moving forward, we want to expand the co-op program to UNBC, which is in the northern part of BC. So this will allow your organization to have students that are at the university, and possibly having one of the recruitment coordinator or his team, as we've developed a team for the co-op program, to go out there for a few months and try to develop and see how many families and children are out there that need help or need programs there for the children. So moving with the university, you automatically tackle one area of northern BC which you have not tackled yet. So with the co-op program, you will be able to go further up there, but also see what's going on with the nursing program, which will help with the kids, and also with the kinesiology, which we'll be able to provide. to the programs moving forward.
So arguably, in a number of cases with co-op positions, a lot of nonprofits struggle to attract students versus corporates. So what do you see as the value proposition within this program that would attract all of these students to support CAN?
So for NBC, just and kind of the general aspect of students nowadays, we're kind of starting to gain the knowledge that there is more to just sort of the, go into the world to make money, it's a great thing, but giving back to the community. So we are relying obviously on the aspect that students are looking to give back. It is a paid position, so you'll be getting that, but you're also getting the idea of not every organization works the same way, not every organization just gets, money's there and it works. This is sort of a new perspective on it, and students kind of learn the new values of it. So I think that's the biggest thing is going to be going into these schools and proposing this, saying, you know what, here's a different perspective to these business students, particularly. If you can take this perspective, you're going to look at it and say, in many companies, you'll have some money lying around. This is going to be, every dollar has never meant more to you, and every action you create is never going to be more to another child or another